Why I'm Boycotting Wonder Woman 1984, Part 2. The Grotto, or bathing scene. In hindsight, this scene served absolutely no real purpose and only made Diana seem to lack any sort of tact or etiquette when it came to respecting other people's privacy. I've had the privilege of seeing 4 generations of films, from John Wayne to Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and I've never seen a film where any honorable male hero intentionally walks in on a female character like Diana did to a bathing Steve Trevor. I get why this scene is in the movie. It's a gender reversal on the eye candy motif, and by all means, ladies, enjoy the view. You're never going to hear me rant against Magic Mike here or anywhere else. All I'm saying is they could have done it in a way where Diana came across a naked Steve Trevor by chance rather than just barging in on him when she knew he was taking a bath. The boat scene. This scene rubbed me the wrong way from the moment I saw it and turned me off the film and Gal Gadot. For those who haven't seen the film, the scenario is that Steve Trevor and Diana are taking a boat from Themyscira to Britain, so Steve can deliver information vital to the war effort. While traveling together, they end up in a discussion about men, women, and how they relate in the outside world. Eventually, they get to the subject of sex, and Steve is surprised to learn Diana is knowledgeable about reproductive biology and the pleasures of the flesh, having read all 12 volumes of Cleo's writings on bodily pleasure. When Steve asks Diana if she brought any of them with her, she tells him he wouldn't like them because they came to the conclusion that men are essential for procreation, but when it comes to physical pleasure, unnecessary. This was clearly a shot at men, and since I've come to learn that the scene was improvised, I've come to take it personally. The fact that Diana tells Steve you would not enjoy them when she's asked about Cleo's writings shows that the character is clearly aware that a man's sexual prowess is a big part of his self-worth. And watching the way the scene plays out, it's clear that what she says bothers him. I can only speak for myself, but I was really put off by this when I saw it, as it made me feel uncomfortable and unwelcome, even though it didn't get many laughs in the theater we were in, other than a few miserable man-hating hags sitting in the back. It bothered me even more when once I found out the scene was improvised, because it meant that Gal knowingly chose to take an unnecessary dig at men, and that her soy boy sidekick, Chris Pine, had just gone along with it. I had a female friend try to defend this, explaining that male characters say insulting things to female characters in movies too. And that's true, but they are usually the villains, and they tend to get their asses kicked, with the aforementioned female character playing a role in their inevitable downfall. There are also those films that feature an anti-hero protagonist that sometimes make crass remarks about women, who in turn will find themselves in a tight spot with only the woman he had previously disrespected able to save his bacon. In either case, the female character receives her comeuppance, while in the case of Steve Trevor, there is no comeuppance. He is berated in the boat scene and is never vindicated. The best chance for this vindication was during the build-up to the off-camera love scene. When Diana leans in to kiss him, he should have backed away and told her, "Since I'm unnecessary for physical pleasure, you can fuck yourself." Unfortunately, Steve proves himself to be a cuck and has sex with her despite her clear disrespect for him earlier. After all, how many women do you know would have sex with a man after he told her she was unnecessary? Catcalling Chris. While promoting 2017's Wonder Woman, at the 92Y in New York City, Gal Gadot bragged about how she and director Patty Jenkins catcalled Chris Pine during his nearly nude grotto scene. Gal said it was just her and Patty Jenkins, implying that it was a closed set, and joked about how the two of them would comment on how good Chris looked in the little red Speedo shorts he was wearing. This is a pretty interesting and hypocritical turn of events, considering the outrage over men's inappropriate behavior towards women, especially in Hollywood. I wonder how Gal would have felt if the situation had been reversed, that she had been nude or wearing very little, and a male director and the lead actor had done the same to her. Considering the fact that Gal publicly decreed she wouldn't make the Wonder Woman sequel if Brett Ratner was involved due to allegations made against him, it really doesn't paint a very good picture of Gal or Patty Jenkins, does it? For the record, I don't care that Pine petitioned to come back to play Steve Trevor, or that he's involved in a television series with Patty Jenkins. I don't even care if he started shaking his ass like he was auditioning for a part in a Magic Mike sequel. It never should have happened to begin with, and only serves to further prove how the women in that industry can't seem to practice what they preach. In conclusion, it would appear to me that Gal Gadot, Patty Jenkins, Chris Pine, and the movie's writing staff took what had been a noble, dignified, courageous, and inspirational character who could have been a role model to anybody, regardless of gender, and made her an ignorant, chauvinistic, disrespectful, and uncouth character. In other words, all the things feminists claim to hate about men. The only difference is, when Princess Diana does it, they cheered her on. Thank you for watching.